Thursday marks 20 years since Princess Diana was killed in a car crash inside a Paris tunnel.
For years, people have wondered what really happened to Princess Diana. Some believed it was just a tragic accident, but others thought there was a secret behind it. Now, something unbelievable has happened. Queen Camilla has been sentenced for Diana's death. How did it come to this? What will happen to the royal family now? The truth has finally come out, and nothing will ever be the same again. How Camilla became a suspect. For years, people have whispered, argued, and even shouted about Camilla's role in Diana's tragic story. Was she really just the other woman? Or was there something more? Let's go back to where it all started. Camilla and Charles go way back, before Diana was even in the picture. They met in the early 1970s and fell in love, but for one reason or another, Charles didn't marry her. Instead, he ended up with Diana, a young, beautiful, and innocent woman who seemed perfect for the role of a princess. But there was a problem. Charles never really got over Camilla. Even after marrying Diana, Charles kept Camilla close. Too close. Diana wasn't stupid. She saw what was happening. Imagine being married to a man who secretly loves someone else. That's what Diana had to live with. And she didn't just stay silent about it. In 1995, she sat down for one of the most famous interviews in history. Looking straight at the camera, she said the words that would be remembered forever. There were 3 of us in this marriage, so it was a bit crowded. Boom. Just like that, the world knew the truth. Diana was suffering, and Camilla was the reason. People turned against Camilla instantly. Even after Diana's tragic death in 1997, Camilla was still seen as the villain. When she finally married Charles in 2005, many people refused to accept her. Some still blame her for Diana's pain, and now, with new evidence coming to light, some believe she played a role in Diana's death itself. But how did she go from being a disliked woman to a murder suspect? Let's talk about it. New evidence that sparked investigation. For years, the case of Diana's death was considered closed. The official story was that she died in a tragic car crash in Paris, caused by a drunk driver trying to escape the paparazzi. But was that really all there was to it? Recently, something changed. New documents were leaked. Documents that, according to insiders, were never meant to be seen by the public. These papers hinted at a bigger plot behind Diana's death, something much darker than an accident. But that's not all. Some former royal staff members, who had stayed quiet for decades, finally spoke up. One witness, whose name hasn't been revealed yet for security reasons, claimed that Diana feared for her life before she died. She allegedly told her closest friends that she believed someone was planning to get rid of her. And guess what? She even wrote a letter predicting that she would die in a car crash. That's chilling, isn't it? But here's where Camilla comes in. According to these leaked documents and witness accounts, there were people within the royal circle who saw Diana as a problem. She was too popular, too powerful, and, most importantly, she wasn't afraid to speak the truth. This made her dangerous, especially to those who wanted Charles and Camilla to eventually be together without any obstacles. Now think about it. If you were Camilla and you knew your path to becoming queen was being blocked by a woman the whole world adored, how would you feel? Some believe Camilla didn't just wait for fate to remove Diana. She helped make it happen. But is that really true? Why the case was reopened. For years, people who questioned Diana's death were dismissed as conspiracy theorists. But when so many people believe something, can they all be wrong? The pressure to reopen the case had been growing for a long time. With the new evidence coming to light, authorities had no choice but to take another look. The big question was, if Diana's death wasn't an accident, then who was behind it? And if there was a plan to eliminate her, how deep did it go? Investigators started pulling old records, re-examining statements, and questioning people who had stayed silent for years. One thing became clear. There were too many loose ends in Diana's death. Too many strange coincidences. And the more they dug, the more Camilla's name started popping up. At first, many thought this was crazy. Why would Camilla of all people be involved? But then, when the leaked documents suggested that Diana had warned about a plot against her, people started listening. Diana had mentioned a woman close to Charles, who might have had a reason to see her gone. Could she have been talking about Camilla? The legal pressure leading to Camilla's involvement. As investigators gathered more evidence, the royal family stayed silent. They didn't want to comment on rumors. But behind palace walls, something was happening. Lawyers were being called. Meetings were being held. There was a real fear that this case could turn into the biggest royal scandal in history. And when the police officially announced they were looking into Camilla as a person of interest, the world went crazy. Imagine that. A queen being investigated for the murder of another queen. It sounds like something out of a movie, but it was really happening. Camilla, the woman who had spent decades trying to win over the British public, was now at the center of a criminal case. Some sources claim that when she first heard about the investigation, she laughed it off. She thought it was ridiculous. But as days went by and more evidence came out, she stopped laughing. She reportedly became paranoid, avoiding public events and staying behind palace doors as much as possible. And then came the breaking point. One of the former royal staff members who had been close to Diana was brought in for questioning. What they said has not been fully revealed yet, but insiders claim it was something huge, something that directly linked Camilla to the case. Whatever it was enough to push investigators to take the next step. Charges and key accusations. The prosecution wasted no time. They made it clear from the very beginning. They believed Camilla was involved in Diana's death. But how? What proof did they have? First, they talked about motive. Why would Camilla want Diana gone? Well, everyone knows about the love triangle. Diana herself had said it. There were 3 of us in this marriage. Camilla was always there in the background, waiting. But was she just waiting, or did she take matters into her own hands? Then came the real bombshell. The prosecution claimed they had evidence linking Camilla to people who might have had a hand in Diana's accident. They brought up secret phone calls, hidden meetings, and even documents that suggested Camilla knew more than she ever admitted. But here's the real kicker. The prosecution hinted that Camilla may have been working with powerful people. People with influence, money, and the ability to make things disappear. Could this mean the royal family itself was involved? Was there a hidden network protecting her all these years? The courtroom was silent. People were hanging on to every word. Was Camilla just a woman in love, or was she part of something much darker? Camilla's defense. Then it was time for Camilla's lawyers to speak. They had one job, to convince everyone that Camilla was innocent. But how do you fight against years of rumors, conspiracy theories, and a public that never really liked you in the first place? Camilla sat still, her face pale, as her lawyers argued that she had nothing to do with Diana's death. They said it was absurd. They pointed out that Camilla wasn't even in the country when Diana died. How could she have planned something so big? Then they played the sympathy card. Camilla was a victim too, they said. The public had hated her for years. She had suffered. She had been called names, blamed for ruining Charles and Diana's marriage, and now she was being accused of something even worse. They painted her as a woman who had simply fallen in love with the wrong man at the wrong time. And then came the biggest moment. Did Camilla herself speak? Did she take the stand? Yes, she did. She stood up, hands shaking slightly, and looked straight at the jury. Her voice cracked as she spoke. I did not kill Diana. I had nothing to do with her death. But then came the twist. She didn't stop there. She turned the blame elsewhere. She suggested that if there was a conspiracy, then she wasn't the one pulling the strings. Someone else was. But who? Was she hinting at the royal family? The government? Someone even bigger? People whispered among themselves. What did she mean? Was she telling the truth? Or was she just trying to save herself? Shocking testimonies. And then, the trial took another shocking turn. Witnesses started coming forward. Some of them had never spoken before. Others had been ignored for years. But now they had the world's attention. One former royal staff member claimed they had seen strange meetings between Camilla and people linked to British intelligence. They had overheard conversations about Diana being a problem. A driver who worked for the royal family revealed something even darker. He claimed that the night Diana died, there was already talk inside the palace about what had happened, before the news had even broken. How could they have known so soon? Unless they had expected it? And then came the biggest shock of all. A former security officer, someone who had worked closely with Charles and Camilla, took the stand. He looked nervous, wiping sweat from his forehead. He took a deep breath and then said it. "I was told to keep quiet. I was told Diana's accident wasn't an accident." Gasps filled the courtroom. Even Camilla's lawyers looked shaken. Who told him to keep quiet? Why? The judge called for order, but the damage was done. The jury had heard everything. The world had heard everything. Final verdict and sentencing. The courtroom waited. Hours passed. People outside were glued to their screens. What would happen? Would Camilla walk free? Or would this be the day justice was finally served? Then, the jury returned. The room held its breath. The judge asked the foreman to read the verdict. Guilty. The word echoed through the room. Camilla blinked as if she hadn't heard it. Guilty? Number that couldn't be right. The judge began to speak. He talked about the seriousness of the crime, the need for justice, and then finally he gave the sentence. Life in prison. The room exploded. Some people cheered, others gasped. Reporters rushed outside to break the news. Queen Camilla, now just Camilla Parker Bowles again, had been sentenced to life. And then came her reaction. At first, she sat frozen. Her face turned red, her hands clenched into fists. Then, suddenly, she stood up and shouted, "This is a setup! I didn't do anything." She turned to Charles, who was sitting nearby, his face pale and expressionless. "Say something. Tell them." But Charles didn't move. He just stared ahead, like he wasn't really there. Camilla tried again. She begged, she screamed, but no one listened. The guards moved in, grabbing her arms. She fought, but it was no use. They led her away, her voice still echoing through the room. And just like that, it was over. But was it? Because as Camilla was taken out, the questions still remained. Was she really the mastermind? Or was she just a piece in a much bigger game? And if she was, then who was still out there, hiding in the shadows? So, what happens next? Camilla has just been sentenced. The entire world is in shock, and now the big question is, where does she go from here? Camilla's fate. Now, let's be real. Camilla is not the kind of person to just sit back and say, "Oh well, I guess I'll go to prison now." She has spent decades climbing her way to the top. She went from being the most hated woman in Britain to the queen of the country. Do you really think she will give up that easily? Camilla still has powerful friends, expensive lawyers, and, most importantly, King Charles himself. He has spent years defending her, making the public accept her, and trying to erase the memory of Princess Diana. Would he just stand there and let her rot in jail? Absolutely not. So, of course, the first thing Camilla will do is appeal. Her lawyers will argue that the trial was unfair, that the evidence wasn't strong enough, and that she was targeted because of who she is. They might even say that the case was nothing but a conspiracy to bring down the monarchy. But here's the problem. Appeals take time. A long, long time. While the process is happening, Camilla will have to wait. And no, she won't be waiting in her fancy palace. She will be in prison. Well, Camilla won't be thrown into just any regular prison. She won't be sitting in a tiny cell with 10 other women. She is still the queen consort, and whether people like it or not, she has special status. This means she will likely be sent to a high-security prison for VIPs, where she will have her own cell, some level of protection, and probably more comfort than an average prisoner. One possible location is HMP Bronzefield, the UK's most high-profile women's prison. It has housed some of the most dangerous female criminals in Britain, but it also has private cells for high-profile inmates. Camilla would likely have limited contact with other prisoners for safety reasons, but make no mistake, prison is still prison. There are no royal servants, no fancy dinners, No designer dresses, just a small room, a metal bed, and a life completely controlled by prison rules. Can you imagine Camilla waking up to the sound of prison guards, eating simple food off a plastic tray, and having no access to luxury? Would she even be able to survive it? And then there's another question. How will the public react to seeing a queen in prison? Would people feel bad for her? Or would they celebrate, saying justice has finally been served for Diana? The monarchy's future. Now, here's where things take a dark turn for the royal family. Because this isn't just about Camilla. This is about King Charles, too. Think about it. His wife has just been convicted for being involved in the death of Princess Diana. His entire reputation is now hanging by a thread. People are furious. The media is going crazy. Protests are breaking out in the streets. And the big question on everyone's mind is, can King Charles stay on the throne after this? For years, there were already people who didn't want Charles to be king. Many believed the throne should have gone straight to Prince William after Queen Elizabeth's death. Charles was never as popular as his mother, and now, with this scandal, his rule is in serious danger. The British monarchy survives on public support. If the people lose faith, the system starts to fall apart. And let's be honest, after this trial, how many people will still support him? The Queen was loved because she stayed away from scandals. Charles, on the other hand, is now right in the middle of one of the biggest royal scandals of all time. Some experts believe that he will try to hold on to the throne, hoping the public will eventually move on. But others think he might be forced to step down, either because of public pressure, or even because of a decision made within the royal family itself. And if Charles steps down, who takes over? Prince William. Will this scandal lead to the end of the monarchy? Now, this is the biggest question of them all. Could this be the final nail in the coffin for the British royal family? We have to remember, the monarchy has already been struggling. Younger generations are losing interest. Many people feel like the royal family is outdated, unnecessary, and a waste of taxpayer money. But this could push things over the edge. For decades, people have suspected that Diana's death wasn't an accident. Now, with Camilla's sentencing, many will see this as proof that something dark has always been lurking within the royal family. And when the public loses trust, it's very hard to get it back. Imagine this: millions of people demanding the monarchy be abolished, protests outside Buckingham Palace, governments debating whether to cut off funding to the royals. Could we really see the end of the monarchy in our lifetime? One thing is for sure. After this scandal, the royal family will never be the same again. But now, I want to hear from you. Do you think Camilla deserves this sentence? Will Charles survive the backlash, or is his reign doomed? And most importantly, do you believe this could be the beginning of the end for the British royal family? Queen Camilla's rise to prominence as King Charles III's wife has been one of the most talked about transformations in modern royal history. Before her marriage to Charles in 2005, Camilla was married to Andrew Parker Bowles, a former member of the British military. Together, they had 2 children, Tom Parker Bowles and Laura Lopes. While Tom often draws attention for his culinary career and occasional public appearances, Laura has remained far more private, choosing to stay out of the royal spotlight as much as possible. However, recent revelations by Laura have shocked royal observers and the public alike, as she spoke candidly about her mother's controversial journey to the throne and the impact it had on her personal and professional life. Her story sheds light on the unique struggles she faced as someone pulled into the royal fold without choice, offering an intimate perspective rarely shared by those adjacent to the monarchy. Laura Lopes was born on January 1, 1978, into a world of British upper-class privilege, but far removed from royal traditions. As the daughter of Camilla and Andrew Parker Bowles, Laura grew up in an environment of wealth and status, attending Haywood Preparatory School and later pursuing a degree in the history of art at Oxford Brookes University. During her formative years, Laura lived a relatively normal, albeit privileged life with her brother Tom. However, even during her childhood, the whispers and rumors surrounding her mother's relationship with Charles began to seep into her reality. the media's relentless coverage of Camilla as the other woman in Charles and Diana's marriage created an unwanted shadow over Laura's life. Friends, teachers, and even strangers would make assumptions about her based solely on her mother's public image. For a young girl trying to understand the complexities of relationships and trust, these experiences forced her to mature quickly. Laura has described her formative years as turbulent, marked by a deep tension between her mother's devotion to family and the public perception of her as a villain. The divorce of her parents in 1995, fueled by years of rumors about Camilla's affair with Charles, was another difficult chapter for Laura. Though shielded from the media as much as possible, she couldn't escape the indirect effects of the public scrutiny that engulfed her family. Yet through it all, Laura maintained a strong bond with her mother. She admired Camilla's ability to remain composed and resilient, even when she was one of the most criticized figures in the British press. When Camilla married Charles in 2005, Laura's life changed dramatically. Unlike Prince William and Prince Harry, who were born into royalty and grew up under the spotlight, Laura was thrust into the royal world as an adult. This abrupt transition was far from easy. While her mother embraced her new role as Duchess of Cornwall, Laura found herself struggling to reconcile her private life with the expectations of her new royal connections. Attending public events with her mother and stepfather brought an overwhelming amount of attention she never sought. She often felt out of place, especially during high-profile events where royal protocols clashed with her desire to remain in the background. One of the most fascinating aspects of Laura's story is her relationship with her stepbrothers, Prince William and Prince Harry. Their interactions have been described as polite, but distant. It is no secret that William and Harry have struggled with their father's relationship with Camilla. Both princes have spoken openly about the pain caused by their parents' divorce and Charles's affair, which undoubtedly created a natural barrier between them and Laura. According to reports, heated arguments occasionally broke out between Laura and William in the early years after Camilla and Charles's marriage. William, feeling protective of his late mother, Princess Diana, would sometimes criticize Camilla, blaming her for his mother's unhappiness. Laura, fiercely loyal to her own mother, would push back, arguing that Charles's actions had caused just as much difficulty for her family. These disagreements highlight how both William and Laura coped with the emotional fallout of their parents' past, but from very different perspectives. Despite these tensions, Laura has largely avoided engaging in any public disputes. Unlike Harry, who has been vocal about his grievances with the royal family, Laura has chosen to stay silent, focusing on her own life and career. However, the release of Harry's memoir, Spare, reignited old wounds. In the book, Harry described Queen Camilla as a dangerous figure who prioritized her public image over the well-being of others. While Laura did not directly respond to Harry's claims, reports suggest she was deeply hurt by the accusations. The fallout from the memoir has added another layer of complexity to Laura's relationship with her stepbrothers, making an already fragile dynamic even more strained. Professionally, Laura has built an impressive career as an art gallerist, establishing her independence from the royal family. She worked at prestigious institutions, including the Peggy Guggenheim Collection in Venice, and later co-founded 11 Gallery in London, which focuses on promoting emerging artists. Her work in the art world has allowed her to carve out her own identity, separate from her royal connections. Friends describe Laura as independent, grounded, and uninterested in the trappings of royalty. Even after her mother became queen consort, Laura continued to prioritize her career and family, avoiding the spotlight whenever possible. In her personal life, Laura has also sought stability and privacy. She married Harry Lopes, a former model and chartered accountant, in 2006. Their wedding, held at St. Cyriac's Church in Wiltshire, was attended by members of both the Parker Bowles and royal families. Laura's choice of Anna Valentine to design her wedding dress, a nod to the same designer who created Camilla's bridal gown for her marriage to Charles, highlighted her quiet connection to her mother. Together, Laura and Harry have 3 children, Eliza, and twin boys Gus and Lewis. Laura has been fiercely protective of her children, determined to give them as normal an upbringing as possible. While Eliza briefly entered the public eye as a bridesmaid at Prince William and Kate Middleton's wedding in 2011, Laura has largely kept her family away from royal events. Her focus has been on creating a grounded and private life for her children, free from the pressures of their royal connections. Despite her efforts to remain private, Laura's ties to the royal family inevitably draw her into the public eye from time to time. She has attended significant events, including the coronation of King Charles III and Queen Camilla in 2023, where her twin sons served as pages of honor. The boys' participation was a poignant moment, symbolizing the blending of Camilla's old and new family. Yet, even on such occasions, Laura's discomfort with public attention is apparent. Insiders note that while she fulfills her duties gracefully, she often remains on the periphery, avoiding unnecessary interactions with key royal figures. Laura's relationship with her mother is one of the most compelling aspects of her story. While she deeply admires Camilla's resilience and ability to overcome public criticism, Laura has also acknowledged the challenges their family faced as a result of Camilla's role in Charles's life. Camilla's decision to fully embrace her royal duties created a sense of distance between mother and daughter, depriving them of the simpler, more private moments they once shared. Yet, through it all, their bond remains strong. Laura has been described as one of Camilla's closest confidants, a voice of reason and support during difficult times. Royal insiders even claim that Laura is the only person Camilla truly fears, highlighting the depth of their relationship and the mutual respect they share. The media's relentless focus on Laura has been a source of frustration for her. Every significant event in her life, from her marriage to the births of her children, has been closely scrutinized by the British press. Laura has expressed frustration that her achievements are often overshadowed by her mother's history and the controversies surrounding the royal family. She has worked tirelessly to build a life defined by her own merits, but her connection to Queen Camilla and King Charles III continues to complicate her efforts to remain private. Adding to her challenges, Laura's professional ventures have not always been smooth. Her fashion boutique, Mojo & McCoy, which she co-founded with friends, recently closed after facing difficulties in the retail industry. The boutique, located in Hungerford, was initially seen as a promising business, stocking high-end brands and catering to the affluent local community. However, despite Laura's best efforts, the store struggled to stay afloat. Reports suggest that Laura may seek advice from King Charles before embarking on a new business venture, as she has been impressed by his ability to navigate tough situations. This acknowledgement of Charles's guidance highlights the evolving dynamic between Laura and her stepfather, as well as her willingness to lean on him for support when needed. Laura's future remains a subject of speculation. While rumors occasionally surface about the possibility of her and her brother Tom receiving royal titles, both have firmly denied such claims. Laura has made it clear that she has no interest in becoming a public figure or taking on formal royal duties. Instead, she continues to focus on her family, her art career, and her desire to lead a life that is as normal and private as possible. Yet, as the daughter of Queen Camilla, Laura's attempts to separate herself from the royal family may never fully succeed. Her presence at key events and her role as a supportive daughter and mother ensure that she will always remain connected to the monarchy in some way.
I commit myself to serve you all, King, country, and Commonwealth.
Prince William, one of the most respected figures in the British royal family, suddenly at the center of a controversy that could end his royal journey. Whispers around the palace corridors speak of family tension, secrets, and unexpected revelations. And shockingly, these rumors aren't just about William or Kate. They're about her sister, Pippa Middleton. Sources suggest that Pippa has come forward with information so astonishing, it's causing ripples throughout the entire royal household. What could have been uncovered that would place Prince William on the edge of exile from his royal duties? Could this revelation really have the power to shake the monarchy to its core? Let's uncover the details behind this bombshell that's throwing the future of the British throne into question. Prince William has captivated the world's attention as a royal with a unique blend of tradition and modernity. As the Prince of Wales, he stands not only as the heir apparent to the British throne, but also as a symbol of continuity for a monarchy facing unprecedented scrutiny and change. From his childhood, spent in the intense spotlight, to his role as a husband and father, William's journey has been one of adaptation, resilience, and a balancing act between duty and personal life. This story, however, is far from straightforward. as countless rumors and public debates circle around his life, his role in the family, and what his future might hold for the British monarchy. William's position as the eldest son of King Charles III and the late Princess Diana meant he was always destined for a life in the public eye. The world witnessed his early years alongside his mother, who famously reshaped the image of the royal family with her compassion and candor. Diana's tragic death left an indelible mark on William, shaping him into a figure known for his composure, thoughtfulness, and dedication to causes that mattered to her. It was through her legacy that William first connected with the public, an attachment that only grew stronger over the years. As he matured, his public engagements began to focus on issues close to his heart, such as mental health, wildlife conservation, and support for the armed forces. These priorities reflect a new kind of royal, one committed to addressing contemporary issues rather than merely upholding ceremonial traditions. With King Charles now on the throne, the focus on William has intensified as the public anticipates the next chapter for the monarchy. There is a prevailing expectation that William will usher in a new era when he becomes king, potentially modernizing the institution in ways his father and predecessors never fully embraced. His close connection to his grandmother, Queen Elizabeth II, deeply influenced his sense of duty and approach to royal responsibilities. Many see William as someone who combines his grandmother's commitment to service with his mother's sense of compassion, making him uniquely suited to lead a monarchy in transition. However, this unique position also brings intense scrutiny and speculation. Every gesture, decision, and public appearance is analyzed, contributing to the myriad rumors that surround him. The relationship between William and his younger brother, Prince Harry, has been one of the most discussed and debated aspects of his personal life. Once famously close, the brothers have, by all accounts, experienced a significant rift, particularly following Harry's decision to step back from royal duties and move to the United States with his wife, Meghan Markle. Their split has fueled countless stories and public fascination, with fans and the media dissecting every move to interpret where the brothers stand. While William has largely remained silent on the matter, his silence itself has led to speculation, with some seeing it as a sign of restraint and focus on his own responsibilities. Despite the strain, those close to William suggest that he remains deeply committed to his duties and the institution, often taking a measured approach that prioritizes the stability and future of the monarchy over personal grievances. William's marriage to Catherine, Duchess of Cambridge, has further solidified his image as a stable and relatable figure. Together, they present a modern royal family that resonates with the British public. Kate's warmth and elegance have endeared her to many, and her ability to handle the intense media spotlight with poise complements William's more reserved demeanor. Over the years, their relationship has become a focal point for the monarchy, with many seeing them as a steadying influence during a time of immense change. Their public appearances, as well as their dedication to causes such as early childhood education, mental health, and the environment, have helped shape the narrative of a monarchy that is more connected to the people and the issues of today. As parents, William and Kate have made it a priority to give their children as normal a life as possible, a stark contrast to William's own highly publicized childhood. This approach reflects their desire to create a grounded environment for their children, preparing them for a future that will undoubtedly bring its own set of challenges and responsibilities. Rumors surrounding William's future as king often delve into whether he will continue the traditional model of monarchy or embrace more progressive reforms. Some royal experts believe William is prepared to modernize the institution, focusing on service over pageantry and reducing the overall footprint of the monarchy. His recent decisions and public statements have suggested a commitment to this streamlined approach. He has shown an interest in making the royal family more accessible, engaging in initiatives that address pressing social issues while fostering a deeper connection with the public. This modern approach may reflect the changing attitudes within British society, where support for the monarchy remains strong but is increasingly contingent on the institution's ability to remain relevant. William is acutely aware of this sentiment, and his actions seem to align with a vision of a monarchy that is more connected to the lives of everyday people. Public perception of William has largely been positive, especially in comparison to other members of the royal family who have faced criticism and controversy. He is viewed as a steady and reliable figure, qualities that are particularly valued as the monarchy faces complex questions about its role and relevance. Polls consistently show that he and Kate are among the most popular royals, a testament to their ability to navigate their roles with respect for tradition while still embracing change. William's calm and composed nature, combined with his dedication to his duties, has helped solidify his image as the future of the British monarchy. However, there is also a recognition that the monarchy must adapt to survive, and many believe William will be the one to lead that adaptation. The influence of William's grandmother, Queen Elizabeth II, is evident in his approach to public service. Her unwavering commitment to duty, even in the face of personal and public challenges, left a lasting impression on him. William has often spoken about the lessons he learned from her and how her example shaped his understanding of his role. As he prepares for his future as king, these lessons will likely guide his decisions, particularly as he faces the pressures of maintaining the monarchy in an era marked by rapid change and shifting public attitudes. William's deep respect for the Queen's legacy suggests that he will honor her approach while also incorporating his own values and perspectives, creating a monarchy that respects tradition but is not afraid to evolve. The rumors surrounding William's plans for the monarchy hint at a reign that may be less ceremonial and more focused on tangible contributions to society. His interest in mental health, environmental protection, and social issues underscores his desire to use his platform for meaningful impact. This emphasis on service over ceremony resonates with a public increasingly skeptical of the monarchy's more opulent aspects. William's future reign could bring about a more accessible monarchy, one that reflects the values and concerns of the British people in a way that is both respectful of tradition and responsive to change. Such a direction would be in line with his own values, as well as those of a younger generation that demands transparency, authenticity, and relevance from its institutions. As William looks toward the future, the weight of expectation is immense, but so is his commitment to the role he was born to play. His life has been one of preparation, shaped by moments of intense joy, public scrutiny, and personal hardship. Through it all, he has demonstrated a resilience that will be essential for a reign that is likely to face unique challenges. His popularity, dedication to service, and understanding of the monarchy's role in modern society suggest that he is well equipped to lead. While rumors and speculation will undoubtedly continue, it is William's actions and decisions that will ultimately define his legacy. His journey is not only a reflection of his own character, but a testament to the enduring adaptability of the British monarchy, an institution that has withstood centuries of change by evolving with the times. In the end, Prince William's story is more than just one of royal duty. It is a narrative of growth, resilience, and a deep commitment to service. His future as king holds the promise of a monarchy that can honor its past while forging a path forward. William's legacy will likely be one that resonates not only within the walls of Buckingham Palace, but across a nation that, despite its challenges, still finds meaning in the continuity and tradition that he represents. As he navigates the complexities of his role, William's journey offers a vision of a monarchy that, while rooted in tradition, is unafraid to embrace change. In an ever-evolving world, this balance of old and new may be the key to the monarchy's enduring relevance, with William at its helm. Princess Charlotte's world has been turned upside down. Prince William, known for his calm and measured approach, has taken a step no one could have predicted, shaking the very foundation of the monarchy. It's a move that leaves Charlotte, poised, confident, and always composed, struggling with a reality that is rapidly evolving. The decision comes at a time when the royal family finds itself navigating the growing tension between tradition and modernization. However, William's bold actions have thrust Charlotte into the spotlight, and her unexpected reaction is at the center of a storm that could reshape the monarchy's future. For years, Prince William has played the part of the steady heir, following the footsteps of King Charles, while quietly preparing for his eventual reign. Yet now, William's power play appears to mark the beginning of a new era, one in which the younger generation of royals consolidates control over the institution. Aligning himself closely with Princess Catherine, William is signaling to the world that they are ready to take the reins. His move to assume greater responsibility may be strategic, but it comes with consequences. Consequences that ripple throughout the royal family, leaving a lasting impact on everyone, including his daughter, Princess Charlotte. The monarchy, once a symbol of stability, is now facing a period of profound change. William's decision to modernize royal duties and tighten control has been seen by many as necessary in a rapidly changing world. Yet, critics have called it a power grab that risks sidelining key members of the family, including Queen Camilla, who once worked tirelessly to secure her position within the royal hierarchy. As King Charles leans on his son to lead, Camilla's influence continues to wane. This has only deepened the cracks forming behind palace walls, a silent battle playing out between generations. Princess Charlotte's silent struggle emerges as a result of this seismic shift. At just a young age, Charlotte has already begun to feel the weight of her father's ambitions. William's decisions place her in a precarious position where her role, once defined by tradition, is now unclear. Charlotte has grown up in the shadow of her parents' rising prominence, groomed to play her part within the monarchy's rigid expectations. Yet, as William steps into a more central leadership role, Charlotte is left grappling with what this means for her future. Is she expected to follow in his footsteps, or will she find herself increasingly overshadowed by the power dynamics at play? As tensions rise, Princess Charlotte has become a symbol of this generational shift. Her public appearances have always been characterized by her poise and composure. But behind the polished image lies a young royal navigating the pressure of her circumstances. Will she embrace her role as part of William's vision for a modern monarchy, or will she resist, seeking to carve out her own path? The question is one that no one can answer yet, but it's clear that Charlotte's reaction carries significant weight. Her silent struggle mirrors the very challenges facing the royal family. How to balance tradition with the demands of an evolving world. Meanwhile, Queen Camilla's struggle highlights another layer of this unfolding story. After decades of public scrutiny, Camilla's promotion to Queen Consort was meant to be the crowning moment of her journey. Yet as Prince William consolidates his power, Camilla finds herself increasingly sidelined. For someone who worked tirelessly to secure her place in the monarchy, her exclusion is both frustrating and symbolic. The younger generation, William and Catherine, have taken center stage, leaving Camilla questioning her legacy. While her title remains intact, her influence is fading, and many are left wondering if this marks the beginning of the end of her role as a key player in the monarchy. Behind closed doors, insiders suggest that King Charles and Camilla are facing growing strain in their relationship. As Charles leans on William and Catherine to lead, Camilla's frustrations have only deepened. While the public remains largely unaware of this silent battle, the cracks are becoming harder to ignore. Charles may have intended to secure the monarchy's future by elevating William, but in doing so, he has inadvertently left Camilla on the periphery. Will she fight to reclaim her place, or will she accept her diminishing role within the palace? The future of the monarchy hangs in the balance, and every decision made now will have lasting consequences. Princess Charlotte, a key to the monarchy's future. Princess Charlotte's story is more than just a footnote in the royal family's journey. It's a reflection of the delicate balance between old traditions and the new world William is working to create. At such a young age, Charlotte is already grappling with the pressures of being part of one of the world's most watched families. The royal household has spent years carefully crafting her public image, presenting her as poised, mature, and ready for the responsibilities she will inevitably face. Yet William's bold decisions have made her role far more complex, and Charlotte now faces a crossroads that could define her place in the monarchy for decades to come. As William and Catherine rise in prominence, Princess Charlotte is left to wonder what this means for her future. Once seen as part of the supporting cast to her older brother, Prince George, Charlotte is now being viewed in a new light. Her father's modern vision for the monarchy means that the expectations placed upon her are evolving. No longer just a child in the background, Charlotte is increasingly positioned as a key figure in the monarchy's future. But the question remains, how will she respond to the shifting tides of power within her family? The monarchy has always been defined by its ability to adapt to the times, but this transition has been anything but smooth. The silent tension between the older and younger generations of royals is impossible to ignore, and Princess Charlotte's reaction to her father's decisions has captured the public's attention. While Charlotte has often been praised for her grace and maturity beyond her years, this moment is testing her in ways that no young royal should have to endure. As William continues to reshape the monarchy's role in the modern world, Charlotte must find her footing amidst the chaos. Her journey is not just personal, it is symbolic of the greater challenges facing the royal family. Can Charlotte embrace the responsibilities that come with her position? Or will she push back against the weight of her family's expectations? Will she step forward and become an integral part of William's vision? Or will she quietly resist the changes that threaten to redefine her role? The choices she makes in these formative years could have far-reaching consequences, not only for herself, but for the monarchy as a whole. The royal family's journey has always been one of evolution, but the stakes have never been higher. With Prince William's decisions shaking the very foundation of the monarchy, the spotlight now falls on Charlotte. Her silent struggle represents more than just a personal challenge. It's a reflection of the monarchy's future. The decisions made today will shape the family's legacy for generations, and Charlotte is at the center of it all. Will she embrace her role as a modern royal, or will the pressures of palace life prove to be too much? As the dust settles on William's bold power play, the royal family stands on the brink of a new era. The rise of William and Catherine has shifted the balance of power, and the once unshakable traditions of the monarchy are being tested like never before. Princess Charlotte's journey through this transition will be pivotal, as she navigates the challenges of a rapidly evolving institution. The choices she makes now will determine not only her legacy, but also the future of the monarchy itself. The world is watching closely as this story unfolds. The pressure on William to lead the royal family into a new era is immense, but the challenges facing Princess Charlotte are equally significant. As her father consolidates power and reshapes the institution, Charlotte must find her place in this new world. Will she rise to the occasion and embrace her role, or will she resist the forces pulling her in multiple directions? Only time will tell, but one thing is certain. Princess Charlotte's journey is far from over, and the future of the monarchy hangs in the balance. The royal household has spent years carefully crafting her public image, presenting her as poised, mature, and ready for the responsibilities she will inevitably face. Yet William's bold decisions have made her role far more complex, and Charlotte now faces a crossroads that could define her place in the monarchy for decades to come. As William and Catherine rise in prominence, Princess Charlotte is left to wonder what this means for her future. Once seen as part of the supporting cast to her older brother, Prince George, Charlotte is now being viewed in a new light.